everyone, and welcome to a 25-minute full body Pilates workout. So you're going to start by lying on your back with your knees bent, hip distance apart, and your hands are going to be on the side of your belly. Your spine is going to be relaxed and in neutral. So you're going to inhale through the nose and exhale through the mouth. And in Pilates, we emphasize 3D breathing. So not just breathing into the belly, but also breathing into the sides and the back of the rib cage. So really feeling a full breath, fill your rib cage as you inhale, and then doing a strong exhale that will help engage the transverse abdominis, that inner corset muscle. Place your hands on your hip bones, and you're going to begin to rock your pelvis back and forth. So as you rock it towards you, that natural curve that you have in your low back will begin to flatten into the mat, and then releasing back to a neutral spine. So this is where you'll really feel that engagement of the transverse abdominis, that inner core corset muscle. And to achieve this, you want to be contracting your obliques to imprint the spine. You don't want to be pressing your feet into the mat or using your glutes to tilt your pelvis backwards. Really make an effort to have your abs achieve the movement. And for breathing, you would breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth as you imprint. The next exercise is hip rolls. So have your hands down by your side. Take an inhale through your nose, exhale, roll through imprint, and come up on your shoulders. Inhale here, and exhale, roll back down. Take an inhale again, exhale, roll through imprint, and come up till you're resting on your shoulders. Breathe in, and roll back down. So the emphasis here is rolling through each vertebra. So really having that spine articulation and trying to move through each vertebra as you come up and lower back down. We're still trying to maintain that ab connection, so engaging that transverse abdominis to keep the stomach flat and coming back up. So you're going to roll back up again, resting on your shoulders, making sure not to come all the way up so that you're resting on your neck. Inhale again, exhale, roll through imprint and come back up. Inhale here and exhale, roll down. So this is a forward breath movement. Inhale again, exhale, roll up, inhale and exhale, roll back down. The next exercise is arm raises. So your arm's going to be down by your side. You're going to take an inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, reach them back. Inhale as you come up, and exhale, lower down by your side. Inhale again as you bring your arms up. Exhale, reach your arms back. Inhale, come up, and exhale down. So I know this looks so easy, but it is so important for any of the movement that you do with arms overhead, because I'm making sure that I'm not popping in the ribs. So I'm keeping that ab connection, especially as the arms go overhead. That will help me keep a neutral spine. So not extending in my spine, popping my ribs as my arms go overhead. So this is good for Pilates technique, but it's also good for weightlifting. People know that anything where you bring overhead, if you open up that chest and extend in that spine, that's a compensatory movement that makes it easier. So keep that ab connection as you bring your arms up, as you reach them back, as you bring it up again, and as you lower back down. So really being mindful of that ab connection, maybe not bring your arms as far back as you normally would. The next exercise is protraction and retraction. So I'm sitting up and turning around so you can see my shoulder blades. Your arms are going to be reaching long out in front of you at shoulder height. So you're going to take an inhale as you protract, so widening your shoulder blades and then coming back to neutral. So this is helping with scapular mobilization, which we'll need for the arm exercises that we do and for the back extension exercises. So you're drawing your shoulder blades away and then coming back to a neutral or a normal relaxed position. Feeling those shoulder blades widen and coming back. And then we'll retract. So inhaling as you retract and exhaling as you go back to neutral. So this time you're drawing those shoulder blades together and then coming back to a neutral position. The next exercise is cat stretch. So put your hands underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. You're going to take an inhale and then exhale, roll through your spine. Inhale here and then exhale, go to a slight extension. Inhaling again, exhaling, create that curve. Inhaling here and then exhaling, coming back into that slight extension. So this does feel like a stretch, but it is really working your abs because you have to use your abs to create that flexion in your spine. So I'm really trying to draw through my abs, especially in the lower ab area, to create that curve. And using a strong exhale here as I'm flexing will help use those abs to create that C curve here. The next exercise is marching. So legs are going to be hip distance apart, arms are reaching long. And you're going to pick up the right leg and then the left leg. So what we want to be doing here is engaging that transverse abdominis to create that pelvic stability. Engaging that transverse abdominis will help you keep the pelvis stable, so not rocking back and forth in the hips. Good. Now the next exercise, put your legs into tabletop. So don't let your knees float in. They need to be directly on top of your hips. And then you're going to begin to drop the right leg and then the left leg. So just alternating here. So again, a pelvic stability exercise. You don't want to see rocking in the hips. So I'm thinking about that transverse abdominis, that kind of low ab area, and keeping that flat and stable as I'm bringing one leg down and then bringing the other leg down. Good. We're going to do 2 more here. So right and left and 1 more. Good. And relax. The next exercise is ab prep. So lie on your back, hip distance apart, legs are bent, feet are flat. Take an inhale, nod your head, exhale, flex up. Inhale again, and exhale, come back down. So I'm doing that slight nod of my head before I flex up. That will help bring your head forward without jamming it into the chest. And with each time that you flex forward, think about engaging that transverse abdominis to keep your abs flat. So if you're seeing your abs popping in the middle, you'll know that you're not engaging your transverse abdominis enough. This is a 4 breath exercise. So inhaling here, exhaling as you come up, breathing into the ribs, and then exhaling as you come back down. So I'm trying to reach those arms long to create more flexion, to curl up even more, and then relaxing as I come back down. And using that exhale to help flex forward, to help fire that transverse abdominis. Good, so just do a few more here. And doing that extra breath when you're up will help give extra time to keep that flexion, right? So to create more of an ab challenge here. Reaching long, coming back down, and relaxing. The next exercise is breaststroke prep. So you're going to lie on your stomach. Your hands are going to be by your shoulders. So you're going to inhale to prepare. You're going to exhale, stabilize your scapula, and press up through your forearms. So you're just slightly extending through the thoracic and cervical spine. You're pressing up, you're taking an inhale here, and then you're exhaling as you come back down. So try not to extend too much in the spine. It's just a slight extension. And as you come up, feel like you're reaching your sternum away from your toes. And then as you come back down, feel like you're lengthening down into the mat. And as you're pressing up, make sure that you're not pushing your stomach out to push yourself up. I noticed that I was doing that when I was a beginner in Pilates without really even realizing it. But really keeping that ab engagement will help support the spine as you extend in that spine and as you come back down. And now we're going to go into a shell stretch. So you're going to be seated with your knees flexed. You're sitting on your heels and your spine is flexed forward over your knees. So it's not a flat back. It's really having that round flexion in your spine. And your hands can be relaxed either in front of you or you can put them by your side. So I'm taking an inhale here. You're still trying to actually keep your abdominals engaged, but keeping your head and shoulders relaxed. The next exercise is 100. So you're going to lie down on your back. You're going to take an inhale and then exhale, flex up and reach as long as you can with your arms. Now begin to do small vertical pulses with your arms. We're staying like this, we're keeping the legs down. And with the breath, we're inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So continue with that breath pattern, making sure that we're engaging the abs and really working on engaging the low, that transverse abdominis, to keep those abs flat, to prevent them from popping and overworking the rectus abdominis. Take an inhale here and then exhale, roll down. Next exercise is half roll back. So you're going to be seated with your spine flexed forward over your legs with your arms long. Now inhale to prepare and exhale, you're going to roll back and then come back forward. So you're rolling the hip bones away from the femur. You're going as far back as you can while still maintaining that lumbar flexion, so that low back flexion and flat abs. So the transverse abdominis needs to really be working here. Rolling away, keeping those abs flat, and then rolling back forward. Good. So inhaling, exhaling as you come back to help you keep that ab engagement, to help keep those abs flat as you roll back. And then inhaling as you come forward again. Good. Let's do a few more. Good. And checking with your abs too, looking down, making sure that they aren't popping as you're coming back up. For one leg circle, we're going to start with both knees bent. Put them a little bit further away from you and lift the left leg up. You're going to begin to make small circles. What's important here is that we are engaging the abs so that as we're making that circle, we're not rocking in the hips. So continue a few more like this in this direction. So coming across midline and making a circle. And then we're going to go out the other way. So now we're opening up in the hip, bringing it across and around. Keeping our abs engaged and then bringing the leg down. And now we'll go into the other leg. So we're going to lift the right leg up, take an inhale, and then exhale, go around. And as I said before, if you are rocking in your hips, you're seeing a lack of pelvic stability here. So if you look at my hip bone, you can see this is actually really challenging for me. My youngest child is still just 2 years old, and I really just did weightlifting and not a lot of focus on pelvic stability like these exercises here. So really engaging that transverse abdominis and making smaller circles if you need to. The next exercise is shoulder bridge prep. So lying on your back, you're going to take an inhale here and then exhale, stabilize the pelvis, and come up into a bridge position. Now begin to peel the foot off 2 to 3 inches and bring it back down. And we're just going to alternate right and left with this. And as you can see with my feet, I'm not just lifting up, I'm actually articulating through the whole foot. The challenge here is keeping that pelvis stable. So try not to drop in the hips as you bring one leg up, and then as you bring the other leg up. So if the right leg's up, I don't want to be dropping in the left hip. And same for the left. Try not to drop in the right. And really trying to use your glutes to prevent you from lowering your hips down. And do a check with yourself, making sure that you're not jamming your chin into your chest so that you're just resting on your shoulders. Take one more inhale here, and then exhale, come back down. The next exercise is single leg stretch. So you're going to imprint in the spine, bring the legs up into tabletop, and then begin to bring the right knee in and then the left knee. So we're just alternating back and forth, keeping that imprint in the low spine to help stabilize the pelvis. And hands are switching on either side to help track the knee. And taking quick breaths, exhaling as each knee comes towards you and inhaling as they reach long. The next exercise is breaststroke prep. So we're lying prone with our pelvis and spine neutral. Legs are extended. They can be together or they can be about hip distance apart. So we'll stabilize the scapula, take an inhale, and then exhale, reach the arms long and around. Reaching long and around. So we're exhaling here, inhaling as we come up. Exhaling through, inhaling as you come up. And making sure the palms are facing the body as they come around. We're extending in the thoracic and the cervical spine. So don't come up so much that you're extending in the low part of your spine, so your lumbar spine. So you're allowing the rib cage to open as you come up, but you're making sure that your bottom rib is still in contact with the mat. So push back into a shell stretch here and just take a few breaths. The next exercise is side kicks. So you're going to lie on your side with your pelvis and spine neutral. Your legs are going to be extended and then your hips are going to be slightly at an angle. So see how I'm angling them there. I'm bending the bottom leg to give myself more pelvic stability. I'm going to flex the top foot and bring it forward for 2 counts. And then back to neutral. So inhaling for 2 and exhaling, bring it back. Now we're not bringing it back behind us, we're just bringing it back to that starting position. So I'm really trying to draw my abs in here to help give myself the pelvic stability I need and to also help with my spine, making sure that it's not extending in the lumbar spine in that low spine area as my hip comes back. Take it to the other side. We're going to flex that top foot, coming forward for 2, and then going back to our starting position. So we're trying to keep that pelvis stable and not have it tilt as you come forward. And then trying to keep your leg at the same height throughout the whole exercise. This is a little bit challenging for me too. And you can pause here like I did there, and making sure that you are pulling in, drawing in your abs to help stabilize yourself. So it's very mindful movement. The next exercise is spine stretch forward. So we're going to come up, sit up tall with our legs extended. So slightly wider than shoulder distance apart, and hands can rest in the middle. So take an inhale and exhale, lengthen from the back of your neck and flex forward. So you're articulating through the spine. Your pelvis is staying vertical. You're inhaling again. Exhaling, flexing forward. Take an inhale while you're down here. And then exhale, articulate the spine back up. So what makes us different than having a flat back is that we're really trying to round in the spine. And to round in the spine, we really need to be engaging the abdominals. So inhale again. Exhale, flex forward. Really drawing those abs in. Take an inhale again. And then sit up nice and tall, feeling length in the spine each time you sit back up. Let's flex forward again. Inhaling and exhaling, coming up nice and tall. The next exercise is leg pull front prep. Sitting on your hands and knees with your spine and pelvis in neutral. Inhale and exhale, lift up about 2 inches while maintaining that neutral spine. So you're inhaling, exhaling, come up, take an inhale here, and then exhale, lower the knees to the mat. So this entire time I'm trying to keep my pelvis stable. I'm engaging my abdominals, drawing them in to help support my spine. And also being mindful of your elbows. Try not to lock out in the elbows. Staying wide across your shoulders. And making sure you're keeping the scapula stabilized throughout the whole exercise. The next exercise is leg pull prep. So I chose a modification because this is actually an advanced exercise, but the prep I feel is appropriate to try with you guys. So you're going to get into a reverse push-up position, and you'll begin by rolling the pelvis back, creating flexion in the lumbar spine and extending the hips to raise the pelvis off the mat. And then inhaling as you come back down. So as you're rolling through the pelvis, you're feeling an opening up in the hip. And if you can't get the hang of the articulation right now, you can just simply press up to open up through the hip and then go straight back down without the rolling and the articulation. Good, let's do 2 more here. Good, so we're almost done here. Go ahead and stand up and we're going to do some spine articulation. So take an inhale here and exhale, begin to flex forward. So we're trying to create a nice curve in the spine. Breathing into the sides as we are here. Take an inhale, then exhale, stack the spine back up. Take an inhale again. Exhale, flex forward. So we're articulating through the spine from head to tail. Taking a few breaths here and then stacking the spine from tail to head. People have different degrees of flatness in their spine. I have a lot of flatness through the thoracic spine, so the mid back. So you can see that as I begin to roll down. So this is something where I really have to work on pressing those abs, drawing those abs in to create more of that curve and to get more articulation and flexion in the spine. So I want to revisit the cat stretch again as our cool down. We use it as a warm up. So we're inhaling, exhaling, flexing up, inhaling here, and then exhaling back down. So really having that feel for how you draw those abs up to create that curve. So hopefully through the different abdominal work that we did and maybe feeling that your abs were engaged in a different way than you normally have, revisiting the stretch again, maybe you can engage your abs more to really flex in that spine, drawing those abs up. Now for the last exercise, we'll go back into breathing, so you can lie on your back with your hands by your belly. And we're just breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Making sure when we take an inhale, we're doing a nice full breath, breathing into the sides and back of the rib cage. So as you breathe and relax here, I want you to try to let go of the belief that exercise only has to be about burning calories or getting sore or getting sweaty to feel like it was valuable. Taking time for this type of movement is such a gift to your body. Thank you so much for joining me in this workout today. You can find more tips and exercise demos on Instagram at Rachel's Fit Pilates.